bot lane very early. There's a couple of things you can do with the list. You can go level 3 and then Blast Cone, repel Blast Cone over the Dragon Wall and get behind enemy bot. Even just showing up in his bot lane will be needed because WE lost a lot of the push here. Because Turtle and Firefall, they were in this lane zoning early experience while they went for that Raptor invade.
But if Condi shows Lee's in from Sven can steal away, he's on the top side already. Wow, at 5 HP. That could have been a Summoner Heal worthy. Stays alive though.
Intelligent warrior move from Bjergsen as well from mid lane because yes, bottom lane is an option with this Blast Cone. They've cut off the top side. So this is the only option. TSM should be playing accordingly, but they're not.
3 versus 2. Here comes Condi's going to get flashed away. Malfrost gets out. Exhaust Honda. The slows are there. Well, there could be attack. Rel's going to land into this one. Alto's got no way out, escaping. And that's first blood coming through for Condi.
Yeah, and it almost seems too easy for Team WE. You have to expect the level 3 at least. When you play with such an early aggressive jungle, you have to be ready for it.
One of the first things that you do when you see a bottom lane pushing up, actually they might even go for more here. Bifrost, remember he used Flash already.
Wow, it's actually in range of the Cocoon. Lends the stun, gets a bit of damage out. I don't think he's going to get the kill, but he does stop the recall for a bit longer.
One of the first things you do when you have a pushing bottom lane like that early on is move up, ward over the wall to blow up Blast Cone.
Yep.
Especially against early junglers like that.
Or at least you ward rush, or you just you have to respect the possibility of the gank in one way. You know? Some teams like walking for division on Grop, others want to get that Blast Cone down. It depends how much time you have. The thing is, TSM were just simply disrespecting the possibility of Condi being there against a jungler who is prone to ganking bot side. WE stylistically as a team push so heavily toward the bottom side of the map.
Meanwhile, along with that team theme, you can see that ward there, top lane, getting more information, seeing Sven as he tries to answer. Here's another look at it. And remember, the Elite Repel goes off, and he instantly follows there with his own flash to secure the kill on Turtle.
And you still see the aggressive part of Exhaust in gank still there, because it just slows people down and allows you to get there. In the 2v2 trades, Exhaust lost a lot of potential, but right now it's completely valid if your jungler shows up even when they flash. Exhaust is the more valuable summoner.
And Sven only took 1 camp away from Condi. He took Krug zigzag, didn't get onto the Raptors at all, so really not a lot punished there from the Condi roam to the bot side of the game.
Yeah, what he does get is more continued vision, more intelligence for the team, so it really narrows down the possibilities of where Condi could be.
He has to be
future. Exactly. Narrows them down, and they have to play accordingly, though, because they've been doing this before.
Bringing the wave. They're waiting for the wave. They're being ultra patient. This is a very big play being set up here. Like, they're waiting for a long time here. If this does not pay off for WE, they're losing so much momentum.
See, Mystic wave playing a bit harder than he should, though. It keeps him going a bit faster, but here we go looking for the attempt there. Bifrost moving back for the stun, lands on a Wild Turtle, gets back in range. Nice bubble's going to land, and Ben gets the kill credit here. 2-0 in the bot lane for WE.
Almost a perfect save from Turtle. He took the Cocoon and then shifted, buffered the shift there, but it just wasn't the Bifrost still falls.
These are the types of things why they were talking about how Condi, never mind.
The play, can it get Xie? A lot of damage here in this one. Gonna get the knockback, Knock's gonna lend it. Xie just stays alive with an empowered root.
Yeah, it's the mantra W is so deceptive in terms of sustain, because while it's channels, it gives you something, but at the end, gives you both sustain as well here. Yep. Really strong against jungle against early on.
Yeah, Sven again, after that move, he takes a little bit of a venture into WE's topside jungle, but we're going to get a huge reward out of it. And then take a look again at the camp from Condi. They know all the summoners are down.
I really like the shift from Turtle. Like, it's so good to protect your support, but Bifrost, he kind of juked himself into death right there. It was great to hold Condi, holding Cool for a fraction of a second longer, guaranteeing that Bifrost either jukes or dies.
Twice. Juke twice to get away from Cocoon because it's such a fast skill shot. You have to do it on prediction. You can't reactively dodge Cocoon. It's just not really possible.
Icon. Maybe Faker can, but...
Okay, Faker can. He can jump over walls, which are possible, by the way. I learned that from Twitter. You can jump that wall, but either way, it is a nice set of games. Condi has set bot lane for success. Credit to Turtle, though. He's still up armed despite the death, so that's at least a positive. Yeah, this WE up 500 gold.
And here we see WE start pairing their jungle to support for the invade.
That's definitely crucial for them in getting that vision. Speaking of farm, though, it is important to, especially when you are at least in snowballing like this, keep your eye on the camp with many minions in them, because if you're able to get a Raptor camp, you catch up on experience very quickly there. And because it's been ganking so much, you can see it's only level 4, but you have camp experience available if you go for one of those camps with a lot of monsters.
It's worth pointing out in catch-up goal as well, Svenskaren's only 100 gold behind Condi, who got a 400 gold first blood and 75 gold assist right there. So Sven has farmed back a lot of that advantage. Again, this game only 600 apart despite 1,000 gold worth of kills.
In terms of stopping the bleeding combined fact here, we see a Sheen rush from Turtle. It's like, yeah, I'm not going here early. In terms of power disparities, this game is very even still. It'll take another domino fall and really get that snowball effect going.
And we'll still up this game. Again, WE kind of known as the Elder Dragon team because they usually play for the late game. And right now, the mid-season invitation, they've had good early games as well, which makes them a very threatening squad.
Yeah, and so why they were kind of, for me, really hard to judge, because if you look at them, oh yeah, they made it here, you know, they beat the finals, beat RNG, but they came back from 7,000 gold deficits, and you that because one, you're great in the game, but also two, because the other team was kind of helping you a little bit, and you still got behind 7,000 gold too. So they definitely have flaws in some of their plays.
Yeah, moves like this though, you know, early games like this where they are using Condi in this way are, you know, some reasons why Condi got so much praise this year. The accolades and people talking about him being even the best jungler in the LPL.
He may very well be. Plenty of people say about him. Hanser taking a rough trade. 957, nice job of pushing the ult out and then disengaging properly. Shia gonna grab himself a blue buff to continue playing in this early game, but the goal has jumped to 1,000 up now. WE playing the better as we get into this 8th minute.
Yeah, and we really putting the onus on his vision control in the river here, and that's a really good setup. The next breaking point could also be Shia and Bjerg, and as they get higher levels, the waves are disappearing faster and faster and faster, leaving more time between those waves for these guys to disappear into Fog of War. They don't have to roam, it's all about the implication.
Exactly, the implication, well, yeah, also it's all about the cooldowns, because the teleport,
Wow! It's going to be Biofresh with his flashback available, gets away.
Teleport cooldown is a lot longer, obviously, than the ultimate there from Talia, so Bjergsen could make more moves. The only way you gain value out of that is if you constantly are using your ultimate cooldown to actually gain ground.
Look at that Mark Kobe. Isn't that great against the Lee Sin?
And recall stuff.
Yep.
And he times out and he's like, yep, there's a ward.
There was a ward. At least you get the information.
Yeah.
You know he's not guessing. You know it was there. It's also something you technically communicate from mid to jungle, and it's all these little details that make games much more efficient.
There goes disappears another minion wave, as you guys are talking about. And now Bjergsen has the freedom. What's he going to do with it? A little bit of a feint top. Another one
he's going
of
top
those
though.
Well, Hanser's 20 seconds away, so it's going to be without the slicing Maelstrom for this. Controller is going to see the Lee Sin, so it's going to take his time to clear them away. Bjergsen attempted the roam, said, well, there was wards, we got stopped. I will go back at this one.
But Shia has mid lane priority, and he can actually push up and potentially disappear into the bottom lane. One mantra Q, one more Q, and he can start putting river pressure with Condi.
And it's bot side.
Constantly tilts, you know, one guy will go stop, then the next guy gets the option to go bot, and you really have to cash in on the play, or else you will get counterplayed.
TSM seems to be abandoning bot lane and going top.
This time Slicing Maelstrom is there. The flash kick, the follow is in. Slicing Maelstrom makes it happen, and Sven Garen gets the kill now. The bot lane pressure that was in.
Now the critical backswing of that play, as you're talking about, weak side of the map now for TSM is bottom side. They do back off this time.
One kills, 500 gold lead, and WE gonna go for first turret gold. How fast will the wave die? Fast enough, actually. This might be just enough for TSM. No, they've got to wait the next wave as well. And it looks like he's gonna push faster. Wildcard does not have an ulti to stop this with. Maybe bait himself out. The rush is in, and it's actually going to be TSM a bit faster on the play. Nami had actually run back, and not enough damage was done by WE, so well played to the TSM duo staying for the turret.
And when Condi was spending so much time camping in the bottom lane, Sven spent a large amount of time setting up that top lane dive as well. And when they knew Condi was on the bottom side of it, it was so easy for TSM to capitalize right there, and they just fought their way back into the game.
Crucially, it was the repeat roam. The first one got control over that Tri-Brush ward. Then repeat was when there was no ward left and got the kickback.
I'll take another look here. Ben, he had previously cleared out all the vision in that Tri-Brush, heads through, doesn't hesitate, ward up into the flash.
We also see one of the weaknesses 957, because as long as our spectator UI is correct here, his flash was up. And the second you see Lee Sin coming in your lane, you flash first, think later.
Yeah.
You don't need to know, is he going to get me with kick flash? No, he will. Flashing there will always be worth the respect, and that actually has really big ramifications, because if you can hold down the push afterwards, that would be the first turret for WE.
Now they also have to remember about picking up the pieces after these traded sides. You have to assume that the enemy is going to leave behind a tremendous amount of vision in the side of the map that they just previously controlled. Bottom here for WE and top side for TSM.
Yep, lots of nice aggressive control wards and red wards there for WE. You can see them, you know, an aggressive brush that can watch the pack in. Nice ward over the wall by Barrel. Frost realizes that this is a dangerous location. The Mystic securing a control ward. Shout out to him for having vision.
Yeah. Should split the map up in two. TSM can play top side, pressure the tier 2 turrets, the way jungle camps, maybe at Bjergsen up there for a dive into top tier 2, whereas WE obviously have their eyes set on this Mount Drake.
Notice also that because this is the weak side, because Turtle is going to have a low income for this one, he is not going for a turret build. He is just trying to build into the Triforce to have that baseline effect.
Seen a lot of different Ezreal builds. Some will go tier early, some go reaching into Triforce, some Triforce first, and there's going to be Triforce first, and almost definitely Runes in second. And we'll have to see what his mana pool looks like, but if he's the primary champion, he's going to be running out of mana a bit more rapidly. Han's still with control over top side. 20 minion lead. Sven here helps make sure that can happen. A lot of damage coming through it now.
Yeah, this is completely the expected behavior of this game. We see an arrow go completely cross map. If it connects, it could change things up.
Looks like a delay arrow. They're not getting any other members, even if that did hit. Wow. Anyways, though, exactly like saying, Crepo, those two sides, we expect them to trade. TSM, the objective on top side is another turret. It's in trade for that Mountain Drake, and the important thing is that neither of them are giving away ground in the mid turret.
Yeah, the one thing though is Condi is falling behind experience. Level 7 right now, even Sven's level 8. The enemy mid laners, generally you can jungle XP by contrasting it to mid lane. He's 3 level behind mid lane, so it's the Cocoon has to stick. Otherwise he's going to be very weak in these team fights.
See if they can get on this one. As Ward's going to be going down. W still playing for the bot side. This time there's no break to kill, so it's only the tier 2 turret. Not going to get it yet. Nice jump back for Sven, but here comes the TP, and for the play. TSM not going to cut off with the Weaver's Wall, though, and Hopser's TP means absolutely nothing.
Oh, that was very close to being very good play. If Bjorksen can channel his inner Moses, split it up off on each side, that would be fantastic. But he ends up just shutting out Hanser, who now loses the top lane push. It gives 9-7 breathing room to get back in the game, get the soul push, disappear, and then put pressure maybe somewhere else on them.
Yeah, I mean, it's not complete devastation, as there is time for Hanser to get back up there. They aren't going to use any minion waves. And 957 did initially start a counter teleport, ended up canceling it. Is going to be that lower cooldown, but exactly, the ideal play they're looking for is that perfect wall.
It's when we talk about tempo, which is such a vague concept, it just means 957 gets the first push, the first base, the first option to go somewhere else, and TSM are forced to react.
And the micro lead that TSM did get out of that was the super early flash from Mystic on the Ashe, so no mobility really left from Mystic aside from a small speed boost from his heal, and that might be one of those small windows that you do look to punish in the next confrontation.
So we can get out of this one right now. TSM though, 1,000 gold lead because it didn't go for the Drake. Playing Mountain is the worst early Drake to get. Doesn't do anything unless you're actually looking at a Baron or actually getting some turret pressure, so no accidental leads for Dewey just yet from that.
But if you're a late game team,
sure, if he goes 35 minutes, but you have to play the next 20 minutes in the first place. So if they lose a team fight because it could have been an Infernal, or if they're losing a lane because it could have been Ocean.
it definitely fits the WE style,
Sure.
It's like ahead early, great. Not ahead, not the biggest worry, They're aiming for the late game here.
Still win the LPL if we're not ahead early.
I'm glad that you had that whole discussion without making a very cringy Drake reference. Well done, both of you. I'm so proud of you two. Meanwhile, we are going to have a collapse on mid, as both teams have been really, really heavily favoring those two sides that they split at the very beginning. Yet, as we keep saying, the wave clear in mid is intensive, and neither of them are willing to give up any ground as far as the vision around that mid lane.
Okay, I've seen this exact clip 17 times now. Into the bottom jungle, putting aggressive control wards down, playing for the side of the map. WE still looking for this as their bastion of power.
It's the foundation of making picks, removing vision out of the damage jungle, hiding in the multitude of brushes. The possibility to be everywhere.
Bjergsen can be everywhere he needs to be, looking for the bot lane at a Shie.
They have the option to continue to chase or try and shove mid lane. I keep talking about the importance of this mid turret, and TSM do eventually make the call to cut off that chase and focus on the turret.
Oh, great Weaver's Wall here from Bjergsen. That's how you use Talia to lose.
And he can't even satchel over, it blocks off that side of the plant. Now here comes the attempt, not to get it though.
Seen that one before today as well. Not many arrows have been hitting.
Nope. Yeah, he didn't qualify for this one. It's TSM who went to the P1, and so not going to have that one here. Kobe is grown, Crepo is smiling. Exactly the audience I expected here. And it's just another delayed game for now.
Meanwhile, that crucial, 5 seconds or whatever, alone with the turret, did take a bit of the toll. And if TSM does continue to make moves like that around mid lane collapsing, that is what really opens up this map, where we actually start to see a lot more of the hard commitments to these gauges.
And that's what WE want to avoid on their side, because if they can get their Ashe and their Nami in the mid lane, put Karma on the side lane, playing a double TP. Yes, Bjergsen can move from one lane to the other with the wall, but it's still slower than TP potentially switching it all the way to the top side. So eventually, WE will want their Karma on side lane for Bjergsen to match, and then TP out of that lane.
Here we go, the attempt on a con. Of course, the early flash out of That is an important cooldown gone. As far as slicing Maelstrom, so it'll be up about the same time as a Drake. It'll be missed by about 30 seconds, but TSM Blaze will have the ulti back up, and Condi will not be having flash for a while.
Meanwhile, there's a war behind Mystic right now. Hunter still has a good 15, 20 seconds left on this teleport, but that is a position where you don't think W have been timing that teleport that exactly. And this Ashe still doesn't have flash in that last engage, so those are very slim margins for him to push up that far, but that's kind of how confident they are in their matchup with those AD carries.
Yeah, they play sideline to see everybody, but it's so easy, especially when the lanes are longer and the map is switched up, to forget about some D-bars being placed somewhere. But then it's always also up to TSM to capitalize on that, pull the trigger. And a team that has been struggling both with expectations and performance may be willing to just pull the trigger that fast, ask maybe one more time, should we do it? And by that time, it sticks out.
On the same side, can be bitten by the exact same double teleport ready here for WE, and an Ashe arrow that if it catches somebody, buys you plenty of time to complete those channels.
We'll see if Mikhail's comes ever. Biofrost be the one to buy it, but you likely see Redemption come out first for it. We'll see the player on the crowd control well. They're not going to play into the mid lane. She get forced to flash, but the ruining slow is there. Not going to get much more, though. Of course, Ben had the tidal wave defeated, but still, it's 2 flashes down now, both forced by Hanser.
Yeah, good angle on that flash. You're utilizing the wall, getting away, but still the pressure from TSM. They move from top to mid, whereas right now WE, though, can just stall the Drake while 957 matches the push top lane.
Yeah, he's pushing top lane, plus they just let Mystic shook down on the bottom side. So both sideways controlled here by WE, while TSM are choosing between that mid objective that they started earlier and then retreating back to Drake. Whoever wins the next fight has a lot of rewards that they could take off map.
See what they can do with this one. 400 gold difference. TSM certainly playing a much better game than they did in the previous day. We certainly not snowballed much before, but again, we reiterate, they don't really care about the early game nearly as much.
And we see
the end game goes.
We see the flow of the game as well. You have control for a moment, but that means the other team is probably seeing their side lanes, and now you have to react if you're TSM. Remember, neither of these teams are really teamfight teams. They don't want to stand at this dragon and just have a massive brawl. It's all about creating picks, and that's why side lane pressure is so important. Removing a few members, forcing them into predictable paths can be the catalyst towards picks.
Exactly. That small minion wave that we talked about, Mystic pushing 35 seconds earlier, Turtle goes down, keeps it up by hand. Now keep in mind, there are slightly riskier tools that you can use as your ultimate to try and cut off the ranged minions and cut down FPS on those. Cross map stuff that you can try and go for. But as you said, aren't willing to pull this trigger. They have had a slow start.
Yeah, or you just up to lose farm. That is the whole reason why side lane push is so important. If you can then match the objective, well, they lose straight to the turret. Great, and that's incremental values in ways of getting ahead. But right now we see TSM, at least 8 of them go up. They were behind earlier. They are definitely crawling back.
About to make the big plays is Condi and Ben. Once again, control of their own jungle. Not so much to do except kill a ward, but that's something to do. Not going to go for that play. Svenskar not going to follow through. This mid turret very, very low on health. 2 models will do it as the turret down, but Biofrost knocked out by 957.
Here they go. Misses on the cocoon. You could see how much they gained from just landing that sonic wave, though, because of the fact they forced Shia's flash earlier. He has to respect it. He backs up.
I'm going to do it. I got to walk back here. Can't defend it. And the range creeps were all in one hit as well. So somebody didn't buy enough AP to clear them out.
They're going to go 1,500 gold TSM. Actually, with a solid lead for themselves. It's been a slow-paced game, but honestly, TSM can be happy with this one. Has been going out. They were never that hyper-fast-paced of a team back in North America, even against somewhat weaker opponents, and they are grinding out solid leads. Sven out farming Condi. The bot lane has done okay to split early ganks, despite the fact that they're both Destiny teams so far. Hunter has remained this 17 minion lead, which is not too bad. He's been part of the turret pressure game as well, and plus 2 turrets for TSM is a good place to be.
Yeah, and for me, TSM's identity seems to be pushing bot lane, self-sustaining, and then play around the top side of the map. But with Camille being nerfed, Hanser had a hard time finding a new carry. He now tries to go back to the Kennen here, but Kennen is incredibly slow, pick in the sense that it only wins by side lane pressure. And maybe you can bring it into the fights once you get Runons on 3rd and 4th. But it's not like AD Kennen in the bottom lane where you get Runon 2nd. You get 4th. It takes a very long time for this pick to really have an impact on the map.
Malice second him looking for the dive on those 9-7. Still has turret dagger though. Gotta be a little bit careful in this one. Monster a bit injured on this, and turret down a bit low, but they do force the flash at a 9-5-7 as the minion wave falls. Chase in for Bjergsen. One more hit will do it. Here's who gets the kill. Nice job with the TSM solo laner. That one up and go for the turret afterwards.
They've also sent Turtle up topside to delay this push. This isn't really about fully stopping. It's a 1v3. He's throwing out a little bit of poke, trying to delay them, dissuade them, and get TSM micro advantage.
Yeah, he's just going to catch that wave and push it back if they leave. You know, he's ready for the next phase in that play because the lead is, the tempo is already on TSM side. We need to know what happened to Shee's teleport because WE as a team, they seemed confident that was going to land. That's why 957 stayed around. He was so confident they could turn that around, but she got cancelled. Maybe it was a polymorph.
Don't know exactly what it was, but either way, it wasn't good for him, and now TSM up in a decent way. An extra kill overall.
Oh, it's Lee Sin kick, yeah. Svensker went in, dash, flash, kick. Really good move by the jungle. That's the way you can still help side lanes right there.
Exactly, does earn them pretty big momentum advantage. And TSM, as you know, pushed in very quickly for that extra turret.
Blue buff gonna go to Sven, doesn't want to wait for Bjergsen to grab it.
In the end, even though it is delayed, they are able to take the turret and chase TSM off of mid lane, but such a big advantage. We're talking about the mid lane turrets for so long. You know, when there is this sort of the picks with the Elise and the Ashe arrow, so much more secure for TSM, and they can really build out their vision from that mid turret.
Yeah. These mid games are also super interesting to watch around Asher because extended Baron baits really hard because nobody can actually tank the Baron, so you can't make the play where you force them to come towards you because you just get annihilated, but you can burn down real quick if not paying attention.
Exactly. There's so much damage flying around right here, especially range damage. So going to check these things, you can take a beating just by merely getting close to an objective. Shock blast, you know, volleys.
That's
these
true.
types of things.
But you can never really start the Baron if they're close and contested. So it's very binary. Either you go all in on the Asher and you flash out and reset, or you get caught and you die and you throw the game and you have them the Baron over. So it's very quick shot calling that is needed.
And it's still very switchy teams. You mentioned how much red is there from the poke. Sven's going to the kick into the wall, plenty of damage here. He's got every damage that he needs. It should be enough, and 957 goes down. Just still got Aggro. He's going to walk it cleanly enough. TSM finding these split-off kills.
TSM is playing around their strength in Haunter like they did so many games in the season, and they're also exploiting one of the weaknesses of Team WE. 957 not rated that high. It's all about Calmy, maybe with Mystic, and then CA. So 957 being exploited here.
He had one of the best games that we've seen in a while on the Kled earlier today, but he is being focused super heavily and rendered 0-3-0 in this game.
Really bad, man. Have Haunter stepping up like we'd expected. This was so much of the community was mad that Haunter wasn't the MVP of North America. Like, no, this guy deserved it. He played the best in NA. What a supreme top laner, and he didn't. And it was contentious. It was debatable because not everyone voted for him. Obviously, he didn't win the title. A lot of fans thought it should have been him.
I voted for him.
Okay, well, Kobe thought as well. Apparently, he's the TSM homer for this one. But it's finally a game where he's actually playing somewhat to his level, where he's up against the #1 team from the LPL, winning his lane, being the lever by which TSM are winning the game.
But it also shows you, if a top laner needs to shine, like, he's very rarely going to do it on his own. Like, how is he going to get the kills? Bjergsen needs to roam towards it, Svensker needs to help him. And then the other side of the coin, when top lane is getting held, bot lane needs to not feed. And that's really hard in the current meta game where it's so much easier to roam 4-man bot than to really exploit these roams top.
Exactly. Even so much of this action is taking place in that side lane that collapsed on him. Svenskeren, remember these plays. He's the one help collapse for these kills. He's the one who goes in to stop that teleport that earned him that extra push.
Yeah, it also makes you wonder why in an international tournament where TSM is suffering, especially around jungle, is Svenskeren playing Lee Sin. I mean, Lee Sin should be too hard balanced against TSM.
Play his most played. He's having a decent game of it so far. Gotten his team 2 kills.
They know there's Oxshot that came out, but there's a weak as well.
Buys a bit of time. TP is coming in from the Karma and probably from the Jace. Not yet though. Just Shie on the one side. 1,000 HP on the Baron. Can hit the snipe, and he's gonna. That's Baron for TSM. And ensuing team fight is here. Sven, hard CC, gonna be killed up, but not. We can take down 957. Actually, he gets away with, delivers his own escape path with the kick. Redemption not gonna find him. Somehow everything goes right for TSM.
That was actually insane. We talked about basically the firing range that Baron is in this matchup, and WE do collapse on that with the teleport, but able to just barely escape.
I think Bjergsen was the MVP of that fight. The way he controlled and forced WE to adapt their movement was just fantastic. Weaver's wall and then putting the field down and really peeling, creating space for Sven to get out.
And it's one of the big strengths of Talia. And as soon as you see that wall go down, you get a Lancing and you're like, wow, they are actually going to just go for the burn there and try and run away. You expect there to be some casualties, but they even came out with a kill lead on that one, and that is a huge turning point.
Absolutely is. Now that's finally in for Svenska. Can be a bit more of a front runner.
Yep.
Treads plus now that Dead Man's plate is completed, we can watch this fight again.
I mean, they're all queuing up for the party here. Early it's the arrow, there's a wave coming in. But Bjergsen, look what he's about to do right now here. He just single-handedly turns that fight. Is that 3-man knockback all WE, and then Sven? He's not supposed to live here.
Yeah.
He's like, get your buddy over there. I'm going to use your... Oh, never mind. He's dead.
And this time got a warning to jump two, still stays alive. Svenskeren escaped artist in this one.
Yeah, dodges the Grim Reaper twice here. Turtle has actually been setting up side lanes for TSM very well this game. So while he catches a lot of flack, a lot of their pressure is being moved from one lane into the other, and the guy that's always setting up these side lanes has been Turtle on the Israel. He also played on his early deficit by delaying the tier. Now he needs to dodge the skill shot, so that's still tough for him.
Arcane shift and a bubble into the flash. Root's gonna come through. Mystic getting the kill credit on this.
Too happy. Just out of praising him, I'm like, hey Turtle, it's not all that bad. He eats an arrow and the push slows down.
Still a 5,000 gold difference right now. TSM still pushing and looking to stop TP. Not going to get that one yet. 9-7 will join to prevent Hanzo from getting much more, but the turret still goes down, stretching this lead now to almost 6,000. Chase still in for Dewey, looking for a target, but not going to find it. The duel with 957. Hanzo, though, doing the damage output coming through. Rune King is there for the slow, but now Xie is in for the chase. Can he get the Rune? No, it's going to force the flash to Hanzo. Get away with this one. Turret and kill to pick up the other side.
TSM still keeping up pressure, even with Turtle going down there, because of how powerful this attack damage cannon is. With the auto attack, they're able to get inside the base, even with 3 people collapsing. Bjergsen has his back, and they escape.
Yeah, we really get a nice lesson in how this composition works. TSM, they want to fight on multiple lanes. When W aggress, they want to just hold them there and play cross map, hit the other side of the wall. That's why it's so unfortunate that arrow actually killed Turtle. If you could disengage there, it was over for W. They used their main engage. Saw how 957 was melting against this cannon in the 1v1.
What's going to happen next? 6,000 gold difference. Hoping to fight back from the deficit. And this is about the time this team comes online. This looks like basic WE playoff games where they went off and took the title anyway. So this is where it starts to be the real test. And TSM Wittix, one of the great late game teams at this tournament, right now looking okay. Center is the 2.
One of the things, though, when you talk about tendencies of teams, team composition plays such a huge part in it. And a lot of the comebacks for WE, I look at all these flank plays they come from. They're holding on, playing defensively, and they get this big flank. This is not a flanking team. This is a full range team. This is a DPS team.
And it's also, the Karma build is quite peculiar here for Xie. It's not catered around buffing up Mystic. You usually see Karma Nami like, oh great, Mystic is going to get so much protection, but it's a Leandri's Luden's Karma that's not spiking on a 3rd Rabadon's. There's no Ardent Sensor in there to really buff the Ashe. The Ashe is also not building to get the maximum benefit if there were an Ardent Sensor. So, it's definitely all things to be considered here. It's not typical protect the Ashe comp.
Absolutely not, but Mystic had been one of the big carries. It's not going to be the style this time around right now. Xie, of course, Poke power, both Luden and Leandri is good with that kind of play style, and if that Poke can weather the storm and buy them the time till they get there, maybe it works out.
But Poke from behind is historically not that great, right? Now Svenskeren dodges the cocoon.
Yeah. A bit of traded damage. Sven's going to stay alive enough. Bjergsen taking a bad trade, and Xie is actually dueled pretty well, but Hanzo once again in the side of the map looking for duel versus 957. Redemption comes down just in time, but he's stuck by Weaver's wall. The final dot comes through. It's a crit for Hanzo. Cocoon's not going to land either. Bjergsen going to buy him the time to get away, and that's a solo kill. Nicely done through the Redemption. Well played.
Another extremely good wall from Bjergsen there to corral that extra kill for Hunter, and he's able to finish off just in time. Now they've got pressure on the open and hit.
Yeah, they can use their numbers advantage to just move in. Hunter, he gets free cage fight right there by Bjergsen, set up for success.
And here we go on to the inhibitor. It is. That's going to be dropping down 5v4. No chance for them to fight this one out. It's going to be the quick disengage, but means nothing as well. Game's going more and more TSM favorite. 7,000 gold up, and we know Han can solo kill his opponent.
Completely different take on the game this time around from TSM. They open up the tournament with a fully Turtle-centric composition all around this 8 carry protection, bottom side focus. They fail with that one, cross it off the list, and they completely flip the script.
They sweep the flitch all over Kobe.
The switch has been flipped.
But you see it in the kills as well. Like there's 5 kills on the board. All deaths belong to 957. Like there's bottom side of WE has been surviving for the majority of the time. Is complete top side dominance from TSM, and their bot side has been surviving.
There's one important power spike still to wait for, and 1,000 gold Mystic finishes his Infinity Edge. If he can stay alive, he will output ridiculous amounts of damage, but I don't know if TSM is going to give him the 3 minutes it takes to get that gold before the game is decided by map control. See what it's going to be right now. Bjergsen kind of push away onto Condi, forcing the flash again. We have lost so many defensive flashes. You're getting away from the aggression of TSM into the jungle. The threat of Hans, the threat of Bjergsen, the threat of Svenskeren is constantly there and pushing WE away.
And later this game goes, the easier it is for Svenskeren to play frontline and just soak up skill shots, soak up CC, because he knows it takes too long to burn through Svenskeren. And when you do, you're down 20 cooldowns, while the DPS on TSM only increases. On Hans and on Bjergsen, continuous damage output from these champions to Leah Cannon. Very big.
You hear that? It's another wall from Bjergsen. Comes through, cuts off the easy objective for them, and they get almost, the entire turret.
Sounds like a bald eagle flying over the station.
I don't know why I did that.
Wait, is that you?
That was me.
It definitely was a bald eagle.
High five, that was amazing. All right, well, here we go. We've got up your wingspan on this one. Let's see if they can get the mid lane to go down as the minion wave pretty far away right now, but they'll wait for it. WE still have not found that opening. Stick does have the arrow available, not gonna get the target just yet. Ocean Drake up in 15 seconds, maybe that'll be the target. Bear's up right now.
That would be a 62-man Asher being started by TSM there. It's about the illusion of the push.
Yeah, they would want to switch Hanser to tank the Baron though, for the life steal, and take turns to have Bjergsen switch back out there. Buy time for the rest of the team to get.
Sure, they have the time though, 4th health right now, and look at that, they set it up properly, going to the kick back, the repel by a bit of time. He could try, the son of Baron wants it, but there's no repel, he can't possibly
my God!
So it's going to be picked up, it's actually Hans who gets the last hit, but of course, keep in mind Sven is dead. 5v4, Shie on the battle against Turtle, Exhaust is in, down to join the fray, can get the damage, yes, they'll pick up Turtle, it's 2 kills picked up, to the fact that Baron was taken by TSM.
My goodness, your heart just starts beating when you see Svenskeren jump out of the pit to try and kick Condi, then he's the one that ends up getting CC'd there.
But Condi had to repel to not get CC'd, and the new flash was down, so it was only the J6 steal.
They know Condi is a sub Baron, so he likes stealing Ashers, but then he drops next to Svenskeren. Luckily, he does not have flash.
Look at the shock flash that's headed in as well. So close to going away.
Well, this is why WE somehow miraculously wins the late games. They need to make the decisive play, and they also need some help from their opponents, and both those ingredients were right there. The recipe for a throw was almost complete, but TSM, hang on.
At face value, Baron is still worth more than 2 kills, but it gave WE a lot of time to catch up and farm.
Yeah, if you die in a heart
attack. As
far
as gold.
Yeah, but if you die in a heart attack, you do taking that.
There's more into it, but the Infinity Edge is, and that was an important power that Mystic was able to complete. He did get kill credit on one of those pickoffs against Turtle.
Exactly. You know, the drawback of TSM completely flipping their style and going with the self-sufficient, fit for yourself bottom lane, focusing elsewhere, is when you get to the late game, all this extra gold here for Mystic has accumulated in the 4-item crit build, large amount of DPS possible from this Ashe if you're able to stay alive.
Exactly. It's a 4-item Hurricane user with 2 supports versus Wild Turtle, who's by to get a QSS, get 3 items here, and just that damage output is not the same. Now, I would also say that Kennen arguably falls off a bit as well. I think he's still got a good CC, but you don't have that same bully pressure you used to have on that champion.
I think he is going to definitely output a lot more 957 though.
That's
Jace, who has really been hurting.
Yeah, but it's still a Deathfire Touch Karma. It's not a Wind Speaker's Karma with the Ardent Sensor, so it's still the small caveat here. 1.5 supports. But
Jeff Cap's up next. He's going to have damage.
Yeah, definitely depends on how these fights play out. Honestly, if TSM can keep the map split. But obviously, the later you go, the closer you get to the base, especially those Zinnips, it's a much shorter path for WE to travel. It's all on Weaver's wall to split them up.
Let's see if Bjergsen can do it. We know he has good utility ultimates. Rise is great. His Dalia as well. And look at Hans being left alone. WE knows they can't deal with him. Looks like mid lane turret's fallen as well. And now onto the top side they go.
Yeah, different from TSM. On 3 lanes, never commit to a fight. It's all about just balancing pressure. When they contest, you step back, you take something more on their side, no matter how long it takes.
And almost dead. It's a few shots away. Cannon still dealing damage, and Hanser gets the mid inhibitor as well. More of this base is falling. WE not fighting.
Hanser moving back and forth between the minion waves to buff them up, each with the Baron buff, and continue this pressure.
Triple inhib down. Hans uses the ulti. He's still seeing a range of Shie, which is a bit risky. Going to stay alive, though, with Richard helping as well, and looks TSM wanting to keep pushing with the Baron, but it's on for a little bit longer.
And it's so important that the last wave goes down right now because the super creeps, you get triples from 2 hips to 3.
Yep.
And now the Weaver's Wall comes out.
Goes from 2 to 6, and now the Weaver's Wall to go top lane. Nexus turrets right now. Can they get away from Mystic? Can he get the damage? Turtle in the front line, losing a little bit of HP. The pickback is there. They picked up the carry. The shields are there. He's not yet dead. We've seen it from his fan. It's 1-for-1 though. Jungler for support. Mystic still alive. Healing on the fountain. The debilitation is going to make it a little bit slower, but he stays alive in this one. The flash, who not going to land on Bjergsen. Good flash to get away. 1-for-1.
This is massive for the game because Mystic survives. His flash is on about 30 seconds cooldown, so they could hang on. They lose at least 2 minutes right now for TSM to get back to the base. In him spawn time 5 minutes, I believe, still. So it's such a big part of the game that he lives.
Exactly. Even if you hit that Q, as you said, TSM have all the cards right now. They have Supermans flooding in. It's so risky to go for this. Large amount of damage does land, but they don't get him off. Big shields come in, Spencer gets locked down, and EE live another day.
I think that's where Turtle actually has to dash in aggressively. Yeah, ironically, if he needs to get there and he goes 1-for-1, they win the game.
Yeah. Or if they don't take the Q in the first place, and wait for all your minions to reinforce,
yeah,
and they just
wait
to stay around at the next turrets.
As it stands, though, TSM still in a huge lead right now. 8,000 gold up, and they've got triple hips down. WE cannot leave their base for pretty much anything at all. And even if they stay inside, you can still win the game with just 6 super minions.
Yeah, and even if Nashor spawns again, Hanzo is just going to solo kill the game. Like he can solo carry all hips down again. TSM can use Nashor as bait right now. This is the best spot for W, so they actually have to fight way out here, because if they wait, it's only going to get worse.
8,000 gold deficit. This will get shrunk over time as things fall down, but look how much damage going into these turrets right now. It's going to fall even with champions defending it. Block gets used early on. The knockback on a Mystic. He stays alive though, but that is flashed at the start, and one turret's already gone. Stun, and Bjergsen gets away with the cleanse. He's going to be okay for now, but the turret's falling still very quickly. That's going to be it. Nothing left in the base but the Nexus, as TSM are cutting them back, and another wave of super minions is coming in right now. 6 super strong. Best slowed down. Weaver's Wall cuts off Mystic, and it's all about knocking this one down. He cuts the wall down a little bit early. There's the kickback once again into that one. Here's slicing Maelstrom. There's the damage over the kills to come through. That's 2 already. That's going to seal the game, and TSM actually get the win. They get the comeback. They improve to 1-1.
Yeah, fantastic lens by Bjergsen. Mikhail's on point from Firefrost, and they take it slow. They use the minions to their advantage. TSM even up the score for today's results.
That was a crucial